What up, raindrops? Come on now. On today's episode, of Reality with the King, I had to get my boy, a Detroiter, a Michigander, the man y'all keep talking about in these Twitter streets. The man, no matter what he does, he can laugh, he can shed a tear. Y'all gonna have something to say about my boy. So, of course, please welcome Love and Marriage Detroit star, Anthony Thompson.
Anthony E. Thompson II in the building. What's up, y'all?
Does the E stand for extra?
It can be extra, entertaining, but it's actually Edwin, you know? I tell the truth.
You tell the truth and shame the devil.
Shame the devil.
Anthony, my boy, listen, when I say this to you guys all the time, and I'm going to keep saying it because it's true. I love this show. It makes me, it's indescribable to emote how much I love this show, but it makes me laugh. It makes me scream at the TV screen like a lot of people. But you guys are an entertaining bunch. You guys represent Detroit. You are funny and you are entertaining. Did you know that at one point in your career that you would be on television, let alone being on a reality show?
Absolutely not. I always, because I worked behind the scenes for so long, it was never even a goal to be in front. You know, my dream was always to work for the major companies like I have, and to, you know, build a major company. So that was always the goal from behind the scenes, similar to what you're doing. But look what God did for you. I'm following the lead. You in front of the camera and behind the scenes. God can do it for us, Detroit boys.
God did. No, God did it all, and we gonna give him the glory. Before I keep going, I can't help but notice some Detroit legends in the background. Yes, I'm talking about you too, Anthony. But I see Aretha, Stevie Wonder, and Aaliyah.
And Big Sean.
Oh, that's Big Sean. Okay.
Big Sean.
And what does the 1215 represent?
That is the date that AT Network was officially started.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I started college, but I didn't, paperwork-wise, that's our birthday.
And you are currently in your studio.
Correct.
Go ahead, man. Listen, like I said, I'm proud of you guys. You're born and raised in Detroit. You represent the D. When you got the call to do Love and Marriage Detroit, what was that like? And what did you know about Love and Marriage, Carlos King, the franchise, anything when you got the phone call?
I actually knew nothing about Love and Marriage at all until I was in Atlanta, and my guy that was affiliated with y'all with Love and Marriage Huntsville, he hit me up, was like, because he knew my situation. And then he hit me up telling me, like, man, have you heard about this on All Network? I'm like, no. Then, you know me, I got the Googling. And I'm like, see, I knew about you from Housewives, Atlanta Housewives. Yes. That's what I knew about you, because, you know, we be up on Who from Detroit. We in the industry, in the background, everywhere. But I did not know that you had your own deal in the situation with all. Then I was like, this is a cult following. This is huge. Huntsville is huge. Like, when I got tuned to y'all was about 4 or 5 seasons in.
Wow. So you were, okay, so you were introduced to the show at its height.
Yeah. And y'all came a long way, because I seen the production for season 1 to compare it to where y'all at now. Boy, they with no money. You took it to you took it all the way up.
You a wild boy, Anthony.
People don't know how hard this is, what you do. They really need to put some respect on your name, for real.
I appreciate that. No, my brother, I appreciate that. Listen, it's a lot of work behind the scenes, and listen, it's a lot of work to be in front of the camera. So you were introduced to the show. You saw it was a cult following. Obviously, through your research, you saw like, oh, there's a lot of cheating scandals, alleged situations going on. So when you got the call about Love and Marriage Detroit, did you think like, I don't know about this one?
No, it was more like, because you know me and Dr. Thompson situation. It was like, I rescinded this job. You can't say no to this. That's just really what it was. I was like, you can't say no. So she didn't want to do it. But I was like, yeah, we doing this.
Why did you want to do it, Anthony?
Because you know, I've been working in the music industry forever, you know, since 12 years old. I started off with Jay Dilla, Slum Village, all that as a little kid. That's who trained me. And working for Live Nation, doing the biggest shows in the world, working with the biggest artists, I said, oh, it's time to transition. I'm always gonna be in the music industry, but I want to do some TV and film. And it's like virtually almost impossible to do it from here. When we had that moment, when Transformers, some other shows, movies were here, I was good. I said, okay, let me start getting in the mix. But when that grant or that what was it, the film incentive went away,
yeah.
Once that went, I was like, man, I got to figure this out. So that's why I went to Atlanta. When I had that opportunity, I was like, hey, this is a dream come true. It's time to build. So I was never leaving Detroit. I had my studio here, and I plan on building a bigger studio. And my plan was always to bring that back here and tell our stories. Like, I'm so proud of you because you telling some Detroit stories, and that's what I want to do. So that's
listen. Go ahead.
That's why I'm taking notes from you.
Well, I need to take notes from you because you came on the show. We saw your casting tape. I mean, listen, I do believe the E in your initial, besides Edwin, is entertaining. You are an entertaining man. And what I love about you is you're very unapologetic about who you are. You're like, this is me. Could I learn from situations? Yes, but ultimately, this is who you are. When you went to Atlanta, obviously that was a huge point of contention in your marriage, right? You're going to Atlanta to follow your dreams, working with Marvel, DC, and all of those things. A lot of people had unpopular opinions about that, but you are ambitious, and I don't think a lot of people know the reasoning behind this. So can you explain to the world, like, it wasn't like you were abandoning your family and going to Atlanta, eating chicken at Magic City. Like, you were going to build a foundation. So talk to us about that.
Let me say this before I say that part. The reason why I felt entitled with it, and it was my turn, because Dr. Thompson and I got married in college. Like, I was finishing college and she still had a few more years in college. So we actually did this before because we had a place in Miami and we had to go back and forth because she was doing her final rotation, her final internship, and we did it then for her. So I figured it's my turn, let's do it for me. So going to Atlanta, it was a big opportunity and I was going back and forth, and it was during the pandemic, and I just felt like this was a big transition for our family. I was never moving there. I said, give me 2 to 3 years to go back and forth and build these relationships, get my feet wet, get some projects up under my belt, and then I want to start pitching so I can get shows back this way. You know, we had a system together, the whole nine, but of course, you know, when family get involved and start having their comments and inserting themselves, you know, things can change. So yes, my kids, our family was going through things, but like what you said before, she could have brought COVID home too, just like myself. You know, we had a village. My mom was helping out a lot. Her mom was helping out a lot. You know, the kids was taken care of and surrounded with love. You know, I'm not, you know me, I ain't giving no excuses for nothing, but I felt it was my time and my turn.
So you gave yourself 2 to 3 years in terms of mapping out your plan. How long were you in Atlanta before you had to go back to Detroit?
7 months. Yeah, I wasn't there long.
So real talk, because I want to go deep here. You and I are both born and raised in the D. Yep. And one thing I always tell people, when you're born in Detroit, you're born with hustle. You're born with this spirit that's indescribable about how you're just you have this ambition to do great things. Your dreams, Anthony, is in front of you for 7 months. Like, you are witnessing and watching your dreams unfold. When you had to go back home after 7 months of your 2 to 3 year plan, was there a level of disappointment, resentment that you felt having to go back to Detroit?
Real talk, I was more hurt than anything. It wasn't even the fact of, because I always know I'm gonna figure it out. That's just in me. I'm gonna figure it out, and God has always opened doors for me and blessed me, because like, I'm at the top of the food chain in music for what I do here, and He's showing me opening even more doors. But I was hurt more of the fact of it was me against my wife, and then her parents and siblings. It was that. That's what hurt me. And what made me say, okay, I love my wife. I want this to work. I didn't get married to get divorced. We've been married 14 years. It'll be 15 years. We was the first ones out of our friends to get married. So I'm in here for the long haul. So I saw it also, it was tearing her down, because you heard what Dr. Thompson said. She said, I couldn't do this without you. It was more than just, it's a lot of different tiers to this conversation. It hurt the fact that, like, I felt like I was battling my family. This ain't in-laws to me. I look at her parents like my parents, and the same for her. So the levels to it was that. It was also the fact of my wife is hurting, and I'm a husband that cook and clean. I'm a husband that wash clothes. I'm a husband that worked 2 or 3 situations and bringing money home, and we really in love and love each other, and so that was starting to diminish. Like, this my girl. Like, I almost try to think, this my girl from college. This my best friend, my rider. Like, we hang out, we do everything together. And for us to not really communicate, and every time we talk is forced, and you ain't feeling me right now, I was like, nah. I was just being real. I was like, I gotta have my girl back. You know what I'm saying? I can go back here later and make it happen after we get this right. So it was that. And then the hurt part came from, my in-laws and family, because I looked at it as like, I want y'all support. I want y'all to say, hey, Toya, we got y'all. We're going to rally around the situation, and we're going to help y'all get to the dreams of what y'all trying to get to, and that's just how I felt about it. Like, because I know my mom, she'd have did whatever if it was a vice versa, so we can make it work. So it was some deep-rooted pain there for myself.
You have been very honest, and so has your wife. Dr. Thompson been very honest about what you're going through. And sometimes that honesty can allow everybody to form an opinion about you and your marriage. One of the things about you, Anthony, a lot of women think you're toxic. They think you said what? How do you feel about people think Anthony is toxic? The men of Detroit are toxic. Carlos likes toxic husbands. What do you have to say when people throw those narratives in your direction?
It's bull crap. That's people being fake. Because let's be real. If these cameras went home with everybody, see, I'm on a lot of boards, and I talk to a lot of people. It's so many men I know right now that are unhappy and married and do stuff at home, and they all be on social media smiling, taking pictures, and acting like they happy, go lucky, and that ain't the truth. There's a lot of people that's went through what me and Dr. Thompson went through, and their career's not where they want. Think about, what's the number one reason people get divorced? Money, career, and it ain't even infidelity. It's money and career. And then we're in a heightened part of life now. Our generation deals with, they trying to keep up with social media. They want to be like the celebrities. Everybody want their man to have a big house, make $2 million, take care of the kids so that they can, whatever. So let's be real. Like, they can say what they want to say, but y'all watching because y'all know y'all connect to it.
you're gonna go far in this life, brother, especially reality TV, as long as you keep that attitude, because that's the one to have. And I agree with you. Look, the number one reason people get divorced is money. It has nothing to do with cheating, because this is what is so interesting, and nobody. Let's have a real conversation. Nobody wants to have real conversations. If I created a show and it was about everybody being happy-go-lucky, life is good, rainbows and Skittles, and we have picnics. We have picnics on Saturdays, and that's that. Y'all will call my show boring and not watch it, and it'll get canceled, right? The thing is this, everybody's relationship is different. Everybody, man, female, or they, everybody has a toxic moment, a moment that they're not proud of. Every relationship goes through its ups and downs. You're watching the show because at the end of the day, you can relate to it. A lot of people do say, when it comes to Love and Marriage Detroit specifically, they feel like the men carry the show. Do you agree with that?
Hey, it is what it is. Like, I'm gonna say this, the guys is being real, and the women. Like, we being real. Like, it's so many, like, even bishops and pastors, I've heard them arguing at a restaurant, and they the people of the cloth. You know, I've seen people, because, you know, we around certain type of people. I know people, executives at labels, that their marriages, they can't stand each other. Then I see something that's very happy. You heard what Michelle Obama said? She said when Barack, she didn't like him for years. Y'all love him. I couldn't stand him. I just didn't want Dr. Thompson to say she couldn't stand me. That's why I came home. Because I love that woman, man.
But this is the thing that I do find so interesting. Look, Anthony and Toya's marriage may not be for you. Same with Brendan and Kristina. Same with Russell and Colby. I will say this, though, and this is somebody who creates shows for a living. It's very hard to find a straight Black man to go on reality TV and say, I'm gonna be real. A lot of them just aren't used to being on camera, which is why one of the first reality shows about Black folks was Atlanta Housewives, right? That's predominantly about the women. And then you have Married to Medicine, and the men play a little role into it, but not the entire role. It wasn't until Love and Marriage came about where the woman and the man were on equal playing fields, right? Because I believe that when people watch television, when you watch scripted shows like Power or movies, it's co-viewing because you want the husband and the wife to watch it together. I have so many men come up to me and say, yo, I love your shows, because they finally feel like I can watch a reality show with my wife where I know these men are being real. Do you think that society is calling Black men toxic who has an opinion because they're just not used to y'all being vocal in public?
I think it's a twofold on that. I think it's about not wanting us to be vocal, but at the same time, it's systemic. Because if you think about it, the system is set up for what? For the Black man not to be in the household. That's a key thing. You have some programs that women can't even be involved with if the man is in the house. I mean, statistics, they try to throw out these statistics like Black men, we got Black men that serve in church that love God. We got Black men that are excellent fathers. We have Black men that are great leaders in these communities. They don't highlight that, though. They highlight the negative majority of the time. And what I wanted to really talk about with our sisters is like, okay, men, we do have to keep working on being vulnerable, because our dads wasn't like that. I can't tell you when my daddy hugged me, tell me he loved me and kissed me. His love was, it's food on the table, you know, it's a roof over the head. That was love. And my dad's father, my grandfather, was even harder on them. So it's yeah. So with us, my kids, I'm with my kids all the time, and they hug their daddy. I pray with them every morning. You know, they didn't see me. I cry with them if need be. I'm vulnerable with my kids, because one thing that was a major issue I saw was they never talked about the mental health issues with our fathers and grandfathers. They had a lot of trauma that was undiagnosed, and that's why they were so violent. That's why they was suicide rates for Black men are so high right now. it's because they held in all those emotions and all that trauma. So I have guys walking up to me right now, Los, that's like, brother, you like, bro, Anthony, they screaming, Anthony, you holding it down for the fellas, man. We appreciate you. And I have some women that come to me and say, I like the fact that you speak your mind. We need that. So, you know, I'm going to be me. If you don't like me, it is what it is.
A lot of people had a very strong reaction when it came to the scene with you and Chelsea at your wife's wine event. You called her a bird, little girl, stay in your place. They felt it was very disrespectful.
It was.
Explain to me what was happening in that moment and why you responded that way.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. The reason why I responded that way, because you know, like you don't know, like in TV, at times they sit you on spots and they take breaks. So during the break, you know, they were pulling people, you know, to get their break and a breathe before we started the next conversation. And then she was saying little stuff to me and Bravo, both of us. And so I said, oh, okay. Oh, you here for me. You know me, I work in the industry, so I'm picking up on everything. Oh, you're here for me. And I was all like, you sure you want a moment? She's like, let's go. That's what she said. Oh, cameras come on. She said a little something. And then I said what I said. That's really what it was. But you got to think about it, though. People were really, like, blown away about what I said. You act like I called the woman out her name. You act like I, like, really, because we from Detroit. I've seen women get disrespected. I've seen other women really disrespect women. I was really addressing more Kristina than her. Was like, hey, Kristina, you at the table with bosses now. You got to act like a boss. And yes, I disrespected her, calling her. I said, little girl, calm down. You act like a bird. I said those things. But I did say it, you know, I don't use profanity and things like that. But I said it in the way I felt in that moment. Just like on the show, I've displayed how I felt during that time. And I'm not apologizing for how I felt. I apologize if I was wrong. And I was wrong to respond to her. I could have just ignored her.
So Chelsea, who that was her first time filming, right? Do you feel Chelsea, and I don't put words in your mouth, do you feel Chelsea wanted camera time for whatever reason? Because, you know, there are sector of people who want the limelight and they'll do anything to get it, right? Not saying that's Chelsea, she's not here to defend herself. But based on your reaction to the crew's on a break, they're doing a thing. I'm at the table with Chelsea and Bravo. She's saying blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wait, she you know, she wants a moment. Was Chelsea starting with you think, because she wanted camera time?
I'm gonna be real with you. She absolutely wanted camera time. She has went on a social media talking to bloggers. She done been on a social media campaign talking about don't support Dr. Thompson's wine. So I'm not having no more conversations with her because your moment is up because you went about it the wrong way. And I apologize to her. You know, they didn't show it. And my thing is I'm done with it. It ain't nothing else to talk about to me.
Whew, okay.
I'm not that. You didn't did that. And he's talking about another black woman, so-called, you got disrespected, but you go and try to tear down another black woman that said, stop. She told me to stop, Anthony, you was wrong. She was wrong, you was wrong. We all had that conversation. It's recorded, and you still did that? I ain't fooling with you. It ain't no conversations no more.
You're very compassionate when it comes to your wife. Obviously, you should be. I love that you are so comfortable in your skin and you're so proud of her that you don't even call her Latoya half the time. You call her Dr. Thompson. And this to me, that a lot of people they should be talking about, but they like to pick off certain things. Is that subtle appreciation? You refer to her as Dr. Thompson, where Dr. Thompson doesn't do that. And to me, what I've always noticed with that, Anthony, is you're so proud of her. Is that the reason why you feel like, look, I can call you Latoya, my wife, but you have this sense of pride that you refer to her as Dr. Thompson?
It's for me, I saw her work so hard in school. That woman studied so hard. She used to get in the closet and study reading her books. Like, she had all A's. She graduated from Michigan State, Kuma, Salata, all that. Had 50,000 ropes. She did it when she did her doctorate. She had 50,000 ropes. Me, I was a regular student. I came out of business college, low B average. You know, so I just
That's good.
I marvel at her intellect. Like, she's so intelligent, and I love that she works so hard. Like her dad, I call him Bishop. I can call him by his name or call him, but he works so hard, and I respect him. I give people their respect. I've always been like that. And it's just like, when people work hard, we need to celebrate our people while they're here.
Amen.
I believe in celebrating my people.
No, and like I said, I had to mention that because I love when you do that. One of the things that a lot of people want to know, Anthony, is my good brother. How did you pull Latoya in college? Latoya's bad and she's smart. Like, what did you do? What was it? Game? Was it your comedy? Were you charming? Like, you. Congratulations.
I appreciate that she hollered at a young brother, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I was one of the ones in college. And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, my mama say, shoot, he'll catch too. You know, but nah, she is a for sure catch, man. And I'm thankful because, you know, we weren't.
No, Anthony, I can't let you. No. Before you move on, I want to know this. Because listen, Detroit men got swag. We because you know you and I we're swagged out. Who was Anthony in college? Like, were you like tall, dark, and like the tall, dark, and handsome guy that was like the class clown? So all the girls would be like, Anthony. Like, what? Describe how you were in college.
Okay, in college at Michigan State, I was there on a football scholarship, so I played ball. Then I also was working with Sony Epic Records because, you know, I started the industry at 12, and then my people helped me get an internship, a paid internship in college. So I had to fly as whips. I had a brand new Impala. I had an Avalanche truck when that first came out on campus. I had a townhouse. I was living good in college. So I was one of the ones. Like, I was a man that loved God. I got saved in college. So you got to understand, too, a boy from Joy Road, X and 9, find God, and then I started going to church in college. So, you know, I'm working on myself. So it's just more like I was bringing the concerts to the campus, I was bringing all like Lil Kim, all the artists to the campus. And me and my teammates, we had great times at MSU. So maybe I could have got some A's like Dr. Thompson if I wasn't hanging out so much. But
were you a player?
Let me tell you, me and her were friends. We weren't dating. We were just friends. She know my ex-girlfriend in college. Like, we was friends. We were best friends. Like, she knew everything about me. I knew everything about her. We would pray together, talk about God, the whole nine. And then what was crazy is when me and my girlfriend broke up, her family and my family were both like, why aren't y'all dating? I'm like, that's my homie. You know what I'm saying? You know how like you got somebody so close to you, you don't want to mess it up? I knew that she would always be in my life. And then so we did start liking each other. And then we started dating. And I was actually mad at God when he told me she was my wife. I was upset. And the reason why I was upset was I wanted to just be focused on my career. Because I didn't plan on staying. And after college, I was on my way to New York or Atlanta. But I was going back and forth between Detroit and Miami. And I was like dating. I was with her. And then we was getting married. So it was like, you know, so it's a lot of levels to this relationship. Like, she know me. We knew each other as best friends before we even dated. We didn't know we were going to date. It was not even an option.
That is so interesting. Were you a player in college?
No, actually I wasn't. Like, I had my time. I had my little stint. And then it was the girl before Dr. Thompson. We was together for a while, and I thought she was gonna be the one, but we broke up. And it's like I said, if I'd have known me and Dr. Thompson was gonna date, she'd have got the dating version of me, not the real vulnerable, know everything about me version. Let's be real. Yeah. She wouldn't know about me if I knew we were gonna date. But God, he got me on this one, and I appreciate what was best for me.
No, one of the things I always talk about when it comes to couples is sometimes people say like, "Ooh, I met my wife or I met my husband early in life. That means I can't, I gotta slow down." Like you said, your focus was career. Sometimes people say like, I need to sell my oats. Like I gotta be a wild boy or wild girl. But I met my husband or I met my wife early. But it goes to show you because when you two are together, I always say this about relationships. In every single relationship, one person is like, I call it the star. And when I say the star, I don't mean figuratively or literally. I mean they have this big personality, and they're the what's I'm looking for. They're more not aggressive. They have more of a presence. They gravitate towards people and people gravitate towards them. When I look at the two of you, she's amused by you. You know what I mean? Like she's amused by you. And she also is able in her calmness to calm you down. And she doesn't have to raise her voice. She doesn't have to do much. And when she means business. That's what I see.
Because I'll turn up, for real. I'll turn all the way up, I mean, a lot of it too is they getting a real good version of me because I'm saved now, so I ain't quick to fight. I'm not as fast. Like I think stuff through now. The old me would have just smacked you, but I'm not like that anymore.
Well, what we've seen in tonight's episode was the aftermath between your boy Brandon and Russell when you were at Skateland and your man's called Kobe a Kobe cat. This is your man's you've known for over 20 years. What was the first thing that came to your mind when you heard the word Kobe cat?
I was like, oh, you playing now. I mean, I'm gonna be straight up. I told Russell, I was like, Russell, that joke was funny though. That was a good one. Like, that's some stuff I was saying. Like, but
I love this show.
I mean, that joke was funny, but the thing is, like, I didn't mess with Russell a bunch of times. Russell, he don't play like that. He is a straight to the point, big love. He's a lovable dude, though. Very lovable guy. And that hurt his feelings. Like, that hurt him. Like, we brothers, and you just diss my wife in front of me and you disrespected her. For him, he'll view it different than me. I'm more like, man, I'm about to rip you up. I'm about to come back at you, baby, let's get them. And Russell more like, you playing. I ain't playing like that. And I respect him because I cracked some jokes on Russell. He's like, bro. He's like, I love you, bro. But he's like, man, leave me alone. So I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna mess with you if you tell me to leave you alone because, I care about y'all. I don't want to offend you like that. So I thought it was hilarious though. I ain't playing. Kobe got good. Kobe's a star. Kobe can go. She holding back because of Russell. Kobe can go. Brandon lucky that he can't just go off.
No, and let's be clear. You're gonna see it later this season. Kobe goes. Kobe goes. No, Kobe knows what she's doing, but you're right. Russell, again, Kobe is like more of the forefront. Russell's very low key. Every relationship needs that. You need one person who's like outgoing, and you need the life of the party, and you need one other your partner to like calm you down. Yeah. Russell is that one because what we saw tonight is Russell switched up real fast. Like, yo, that ain't cool. Like, he was hurt by it. Go ahead.
No, you're right. He was hurt. Russell was like, I was trying to read it to see, okay, is this a teachable moment or can I crack some jokes? Because I like to have fun. And I'm looking like, no, Russell is hurt for real. This bothered him. Like, and I really didn't hear everything at first, what was said. Dr. Thompson had to tell me later because we came in on the conversation. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really know what was going on. So I was a little lost. But boy, big fella was about to snap him in half.
Yeah. when you guys had the meeting to talk about, the man's movement and stuff. Oh, I thought it was Bible study actually. And your man's walk in with a t-shirt that had Kristina. This is one of the best shows on television. I don't care what y'all say. Brandon Smith walks in, your boy, with a t-shirt that has Kristina's face all over it. What made you not laugh out loud the way I did, Anthony, when I saw the freaking tape?
I mean, in my mind, as soon as I saw him, I said, "You are for real a-hole." That's the first thing I thought. I'm like, this dude is a trip. Like, he on some other stuff. Like, he really antagonizing this man. I'm like, this man, it's like you put honey on your shirt. This man jumped over this table. I'm not pulling him off you. I ain't even gonna pull him off you.
Anthony! Now look, I love Brandon. Y'all know I love Brandon. Russell can literally break Brandon in half. So knowing that, I even think Bravo looked at it like, why? Do you think Brandon was trying to like make light of the situation? Like, haha, or do you think he was trying to like get a rise out of Russell?
I think he was trying to like, joke still in your face. You know how Brandon do sometimes. He's trying to still take shots without, I mean, that was funny too.
Listen, I think you guys are so funny. And one of the things that we saw tonight's episode too is you and Brandon had a meeting to go over the showcase. And Brandon made a comment that he felt you were swagger jacking his showcase, and pretty much trying to like take it away from him. You made a comment that based on this Kobe Cat situation, you don't trust Brandon. What happened to where this man for 20 years, all of a sudden, there were moments where you questioned whether or not you could trust him?
This is what I said. This is what's funny they didn't show too. Let's be clear. Number one, it wasn't his showcase. Number one, because it ain't like he could do it without me or without Bravo. Let's be for real. I do the biggest shows in the world. I mean, I'm at the Fillmore every day. I'm at the Fox Theater. I'm at Little Caesars, Ford Field. So you think I'm worried about a showcase? Let's think about that. Okay, back to it. So this showcase was what, for like 10 artists, 15 artists, whatever, maybe what, 100 people. I can put that in my backyard. I can do that showcase in my backyard. So Bravo came to me. I wasn't thinking about the showcase, Los. Bravo came to me as like, I need you to, this is booked on the calendar for my club. I need you to get this done. Bravo came to me because I can execute and get it done. I wasn't trying to swagger jack or take his showcase because I work in the industry for real. Like I do this every single day. So it wasn't a big deal. I didn't want it to be a money thing because that ain't no money. Like, what money was I gonna make from that? Think about it. It was not a money play. So I wasn't thinking about money. What I was thinking about was what I said to him was Bravo came to me to get it done. I didn't care what part you played in it. It didn't matter to me. I just want to make sure the city looked good. I don't want us to look silly. The issue I had was Russell was our guy, and it's like, if you're doing this stuff to Russell, what makes you think that I want to go into a business transaction with you? Because what would stop you from doing me dirty? It was just clear as cut like that. I didn't say we weren't gonna do the showcase. I just said I don't plan on, because one thing is, I feel like as long as we don't owe each other money, sleep with each other's wives, or shoot at each other, we can come back from it. Once we start getting money involved and it's already an issue, it's gonna get worse. So that was my whole thing. It's like, Brandon, you can keep, if you want to charge money, you can keep all the money. I don't care about that little money. That's going out to dinner with Dr. Thompson. Come on.
Yo.
Hey,
Anthony, what's your sign?
I'm a Gemini, May 25th.
Whoa, you are definitely a wild boy. Oh, Anthony, you are made for TV. Before I let you go, though, the most talked about statement and the most asked question I've received about you is people want to know, explain this man's movement and what it is. Because a lot of people think what you're trying to do is set the feminist movement back to front load this man's movement.
That's interesting because we all really can work together. Honestly, you know,
you want to work with the women's empowerment brunches.
We can work. First of all, it's so many issues that we all can work on together because we all need each other. That's what people miss. Remember, we had a conversation, Los, and I said, like, that's like me having an issue with the gay community and the gay community having an issue with the straight community. We need each other, and people don't see that. It's like we can't survive without each other. So we need to figure out how to work together as a community and how to move our community forward because God gave us all gifts and abilities that we need to get handled. So like when it comes to the mass movement, it is basically organizations within Detroit. It's a bunch of guys that we were on different boards, different organizations, and I brought us all together on one board. It's a lot of major organizations that we address issues, like whether it is religion, whether it is dealing with health, whether it's dealing with business, all those different things. So we have different stuff we come together and do, like dealing with feeding programs, programs that we help kids get to college. We have like Sound Mind, Sound Body, Detroit Change Initiative. We have so many programs that we streamline. So the mass movement is organizations that came together up under one board of men, and then we streamline the issues that we all can hit and target together. I post it all the time. They can just simply read what it is, and I get that up well. But the mass movement is really to help everybody. It's helping men get equipped so that men can learn how to lead in their household, learn about finances, learn about how to purchase and start businesses. Then we got to hit a lot of issues dealing with mental health and incarceration. So it's programs like we partner with Hip Hop Caucus. We did Vote or Die with Puff. We did it with T.I. So it's things of that nature that we do within a community. So it's not a one thing we do. What we do is we just each time we'll pick an issue and we work on solving that issue during this time.
Well, I'm glad you cleared that up because, you know, one thing that I do know is when people talk about how, you know, Black men, unfortunately, we are the highest statistics of incarceration, of murders at the hands of a lot of things. We do need to have a support system where we are able to teach each other and uplift each other. And that's the reason why, as a gay Black man, I tell people this all the time, Anthony, I love watching straight Black men podcasts because what I appreciate about people like Earn Your Leisure, it's a good example. I'll just use them as
Yes, you love that one too.
Which one?
Conversations podcast on AT Network. You love that one too.
I do, ran by Anthony E. Thompson II. I listen, I do because I do really believe that we do have to find ways to uplift each other because society doesn't really do a good job at making things feel safe for us either. And listen, one thing about the movement that I do appreciate, like you said, it is inclusive. Women can be a part of it. You want to partner with women, with gay people, with the community. That's the reason why this show is so important to me, because I really, really, really created Love and Marriage to give Black men the opportunity to have a voice, to have a say. And because you may disagree with them, that's fine. But it doesn't mean that you have to start labeling people because they don't fit into a criteria that makes you comfortable. If you really listen and digest what people are saying, you can learn something from them. And one thing that I appreciate about you, Russ, and Brandon is y'all have allowed yourselves to use this platform to address things. I mean, a chaplain wanting to be the Barry Gordy Jr. of this generation, this man's movement. I had this burgeoning opportunity, but because my wife and my children needed me, I didn't want to abandon my family, so I chose that. But again, nobody really highlights that a lot in the comments. So this podcast is to really highlight those things that may get drawn out because the haters have so much to say.
And you know what? We're not gonna call them haters. Los, we're gonna call them spectators. And also the spectators are doing nothing but help building Kingdom Reign, AT Network, OWN Network. We appreciate it.
I love it.
We love it. God bless them.
I love it. My brother, I love you. You have a lot going on, my bro. Talk to us about this podcast you have, especially what we can expect from the Man's Movement upcoming season. In addition to, you got to meet Pontiac, Michigan's own Marceau Scott this season.
Yeah. Me and Marceau got to tap back in because we got some work to do. We got to tap back in with each other. I love what they're doing over there. He's on the move. My podcast, Conversations Podcast, it's for innovators. It's for people that's moving culture. Check it out. We got some of the people on there that's going to blow your mind. Wealth managers, real estate people, recording artists, you name it. I'm interviewing them and it's good. It's not taking up a lot of your time. We go 20 to 40 minutes. So I make sure quick, in and out, and we get you the information you're looking for. The Man's Movement, we are 501c4. We moving fast. We had a lot of new partners that's come on board. So we got a lot of big things that's coming. We just did an event, the Peace Niche that we did with the Pistons, the Lions, and Detroit Police Department. We just did that. We had over 5,000 people. It was amazing. So we're going to keep working. And just check out everything with AT Network. We doing it. We had a facility. We have shows that we're pitching. We had the podcast conversations. And one thing I want to know, Los, what size shoe you wear, man? Because you got some shoe game up in there. I'm ready to go. Give me them lubes right there. Them brown ones behind you. I know what those are.
Those?
Yeah, I know what those are. Remember,
okay.
I'm in the and go to atnetwork.tv because I got cut in so fashion. I do fashion where I make tech packs, patterns, I make suits, dresses, streetwear. Your boy dope with it. Go on our website and see.
Yes, and as y'all can see, the website is below. So make sure y'all tap into that. Tap to the podcast. Anthony, look, I said this to you once and I want to say it publicly. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for everything that you are bringing to Love and Marriage Detroit. You represent the city so well. You represent exactly what this show is about. I appreciate you and Dr. Thompson for saying yes. I appreciate you for convincing her to do it. So I listen because as we see the rest of the season, and guys, we have 5 more episodes to go and a 2-part reunion that is crazy. Listen. This show is good. Go ahead.
I got so much to reveal. Season 2, Los, we about to change TV forever. Y'all only got a portion of the stories. I got a whole nother other things that to be dealt with. We're gonna change TV forever.
My brother, look at you got me the Kool-Aid grin, like, yeah. All right, listen. Anthony Entertainer Thompson II. Watch him every Saturday. Love and Marriage Detroit. New time, 8:00, 7 Central on the Oprah Winfrey Network. So for the next 7 weeks, tap in every Saturday, y'all, 8:00, 7 Central. And if you miss an episode, catch it on the OWN app or on demand. And of course, you got to DVR the show. Anthony, my brother, I will see you soon, dog.
Thank you, my king.
All right, man.